Hey guys, Brady here. I'm not sure if you heard about this, but believe on Broadway they just made a King Kong the musical. You wanna know what I think about that? I think it's the worst fucking idea I've ever heard in my entire life. I grew up with King Kong. Just because it exists doesn't mean it needs to be a fucking musical. Stop making musicals, okay? I hate these fucking things. I love watching musicals like La La Land and the Disney movies and um, West Side Stories and stuff like that. But if it's not a musical, don't force it to be a musical. It's just unnecessary. Like, who in the right mind thought that Rocky was a musical? Who in the right mind thought that Young Frankenstein could be a musical? Who in the right mind thought that Toy Story, Shrek, Elf could be a musical? Shrek and Elf were my childhood, and Broadway fucking took my childhood and went on it. And now they got another one with King Kong, probably my favorite movie monster. I'm not a huge fan of Godzilla because the only Godzilla movie that I truly love is probably the original Toho movie. I did not like Godzilla 1998. I did not like Godzilla 2014, and I haven't seen any of the other Godzilla movies. I have not seen the Toho King Kong movies, although I really want to see King Kong Escapes, and I really want to see King Kong versus Godzilla, the original from the 60s or whatever. I really want to see those movies. But as of right now, these are the only King Kong movies I've seen. I saw the Dino Lee Dan, whatever the fuck his name is, movies. I saw King Kong 1976 and I saw King Kong Lives. I do not remember King Kong 1976 that much because I did not like that movie. I think I saw that movie like once and fucking hated it. I think it was one of the first few movies that Jeff Bridges was in. Considering it came out in the mid-70s. There should be a Blu-ray of that, so I could have all the King Kong movies, but I don't. But they don't have a Blu-ray for it because I think Paramount knows that they made a shitty King Kong movie. But I need to find the King Kong versus Godzilla movie and King Kong Escapes. I need to find those movies. I really want to see those. Like I said, I'm a huge King Kong fan. I grew up with King Kong. Like when I saw this movie in theaters, I cried at the end. Like King Kong died. I was like so attached to his character in the movie when I was a kid, and when he died, I was just like, I literally was bawling. You could ask my dad. And then I was like, and then right away I read like they had like the King Kong books, like the junior novelization, like the stupid kitty King Kong books. I read those. It was one of the few I've actually done. Read all the books, like the whatever. You guys read those books back in 2005 and 2006. You know what I'm talking about. And then I went out to like Circuit City or I believe I got King Kong 1976 at an FYE. Yeah, I got it at an FYE. I don't own the movie no more, but I bought that at an FYE and I was so excited because I remember my dad was watching and he's like, "Oh, this is the like it was on TVB. I didn't know there was an older King Kong movie." My dad's like, "Oh, this is the original. This is one of the original King Kong movies." I was like, "Oh wow!" And I remember he was like on a ship or something. He's like in like this. From when I remember seeing it on TV, he was like in like this big ship. He's like on like in a crate or something like that. It's the only thing I remember was that scene, and wasn't he on top of like the World Trade Center or something? Because the World Trade Center was just built in the 70s, and a couple years later, like, you know what? We need to make a King Kong movie solely so he could climb up the World Trade Center instead of the Empire State Building. And then at Circuit City, I bought King Kong Lives. I actually seen King Kong Lives maybe like 5 or 6 times at least. I've seen King Kong, its predecessor, once because I didn't like it, but I just something about King Kong Lives. I don't know why. I really enjoy it. Like they give King Kong a heart transplant. He has a wife. He has a kid. That ending. Don't really remember it too well, but I remember enjoying the ending a lot. I thought it was very suspenseful. Um, if they ever release a Blu-ray, I hope they do because I want to see both those movies again. But I doubt we'll get a Blu-ray anytime soon. I wish they would. But anyway, let's get back on track. King Kong. So now that you know my full story about why I love King Kong so much, you're gonna understand why I do not like the fact that they made it a musical or at least a Broadway production. It's not needed. It's not needed. This shirt feels kind of whatever. I don't care if it's feminine or not. But good lord, why must my childhood always be ruined with something that's a musical that shouldn't be a musical? It's just unnecessary. It was unnecessary for an Elf musical. It was unnecessary for a Shrek musical. It's unnecessary for a Rocky musical. And now there's also a Toy Story musical. There is and Sid is played by a girl. And then there's a Spider-Man musical. There's a Harry Potter musical. I mean, if they're singing in it, yes, make a musical. But there's no singing in it. There's no singing in Rocky. There's no singing in Elf. Well, if you want to count that, I'm singing. I'm in a store and I'm singing. I'm in a store and I'm singing. Or the song he sings to his dad. I forgot what he says. Guess what? I love you. I love you. I love you. That Christmas Grammy sound. Yeah. Not really singing. He was just saying words in a singing voice, but it's not really singing, so technically it did not need to be musical. And then the Shrek the musical is probably unforgivable, especially since I saw a clip of it on YouTube. And one of the songs was about farting. I mean, I know that's an integral thing to Shrek, but really? A whole musical number set around it? Wow. Just wow. You won't believe what they have music for next time. Because my next video will be about the